Hello everybody in YouTube land. I want to do a review for you today of the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot by Laura Zellner. And I'm going to do it just a little bit differently than most people do it. So this is not going to be a flip through of the deck. I want you to see actually how the deck has been reading for me, how I interact with the deck, what I have enjoyed about it, and what has been challenging for me. Okay, so I will go through just a couple of things first with the packaging and the actual deck. So I'm sure you've seen this already, but the packaging is absolutely glorious from US Games. Really sturdy box. Definitely something I'm going to use to keep my cards. Beautiful book. Okay, absolutely stunning. Color illustrations. She has great interpretations of her cards in here as well. There's a little spread thing in here that I will never use, but it's very nice to have a nice little poster. And then she's got, which I love, she has all the cards in the order of their creation, because this was a deck about her journey for creative energy. How she became a tattoo artist through illustrating the tarot. I mean, what a beautiful story. And as we watched it unfold, you can see her art evolve through the deck, right? So these are placed in order of how she created them. So these were literally drawing 1, 2, 3, 4 of her original deck. Okay, lots of people weren't super happy, I was one of them, with the black and white that she did on the original deck. So then it takes you through the journey of how she created her art. Watch as it gets more and more sophisticated. I mean, it gets deeper and deeper and really intense and beautiful. Okay, and then at the end of this deck we have the redone, the first 4 cards redone. Number 1, colored in. Thank you very much. The star redone. I'm so happy about that because truly the original star didn't resonate with me. Here was the original. I don't know, it's just a little superficial, a little strange, almost like a sculpture just sitting in there out of nowhere. And the new star. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Now, I'm partial to the first 3 of Cups. I have to tell you, this is more the interpretation I like with the 3 of Cups. These 3 gorgeous women supporting one another, cups raised up in the air. Disappointed again that it didn't have color. This one, still the cups are supporting one another. Beautiful candles, beautiful colors in it. I just don't feel it has the same energy and life as her original, so I will probably throw in the original and recolor it like I did on her old deck. And then this is her reworked 10 of Cups, which I also think is beautiful. Very well done. I love the tattooed hands here. It's just very modern, great interpretation of how our new families can be somewhat unique. Her old 10 of Cups, which I still love. It's just a little bit more illustrative than it is painted, don't you think? So beautiful, but those are the changes for the new one. I find the deck, it's a little bit larger. Let me compare for you the old deck, which is actually what I have laid out here. So we can just pull this up and let's do this upright. Let's not use that one. Come on, give us something great. Hi. Okay, how about this? Okay, so what you can see is the image size of her original, smaller than on the reprint from the US Games. Now, I have gone ahead and taken the borders off of her original. I never really liked the white borders. You may love the white borders, more power to you, but I love that the images are just slightly bigger, so the cards are slightly bigger. I also want to show you in comparison cardstock, because this is one of the most important things for me. So let's just take one of these cards out. Well, I guess I was meant to have these 5 of coins, huh? Guess I was meant to have the 5 of coins. That's just fine. Let's just do that so you can see them side by side. You can see that the color interpretation is all the same, just the images are a little bit larger. I love that they're a beautiful matte finish. They both feel like the same thickness to me, although I will say that the littler cards feel a little bit more flimsy. Look, you can see this is her original. This is the US Games version, so you can see it's slightly more rigid, but still feels really great in your hands. You can see on the back, now I found that the back of this particular deck, her original, faded, and it actually blended onto the fronts of my deck. So a lot of them look kind of dirty and grungy after several shufflings. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with US Games. though to be honest with you, I have not tried it out yet, but you can kind of see the difference. Same design, but you can see already the ink is just slightly different, okay? So I think it's a really beautiful cardstock, and then I want to show you how beautifully it would shuffle, okay? I haven't shuffled these yet because they're all in order because I want to go through her journey again one more time, but they really just slide through your hands like butter, okay? They don't stick together like so many new decks today. They feel sublime to the touch. I just think they're just bright, bold, fabulous, okay? So that is my interpretation of the cardstock of this, kind of a little bit about her journey, how important that is. And then you know what I want to do for you is I want to do an actual reading for you so you can see how these cards actually read. I have found with my clients this deck to be quite straightforward. It pulls no punches. Much like a tattoo, tattooing is very cathartic. There's pain up front. There is something that you must endure in order to enjoy the art as it comes out later. And many times we do tattoo art because of our need to have a memory, to have an impact, to feel like we are connected to an experience. For me personally, I had it done. I had the Ace of Cups tattooed on my arm. It was a really long, very painful process, and yet the idea of the spiritual enlightenment, everything it represents to me, has changed my life. This deck, I think, is very similar. It speaks in a similar way. It's a little upfront. It's a little painful at first. I have noticed that it can be jarring with clients the first time you read with it because the colors are so in your face. Here's an example, the Temperance card. Okay, there's a nod to the Rider Waite here with the two cups pouring into each other. And the triangle, which is on the chest of the angel, in the Rider Waite. However, it's not a direct Rider Waite clone. So if you are looking for a Rider Waite clone deck, you're not going to find it in this one. You are going to find nods to the Rider Waite here. Here's another great example. 7 of coins. I love how the coins are just growing out of her palm, or his palm, we don't know, or growing out of the palm. And it takes time, and it just kind of shows that every seed planted is growing, and yet it's not necessarily a tree standing on its own yet, is it? So again, the nod to Rider Waite is there. The clone is not, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind if that's important to you when you're choosing a deck. Then I want to talk a little bit about how it reads. So I actually did a reading for all of you today about the community, what it is that's on your mind, what it is you really want to know right now. And here's what I get. First of all, I chose you all as the High Priestess, okay? And she did show up in reverse. Now I read with reversals. I find this deck does that beautifully because of course the back is reversible. But in particular, she came up reversed. So I thought, oh gosh, my community is having just a little bit of difficulty connecting with self. Trusting self is the message that I received from the High Priestess reversed. And I received the Magician reversed, the Ace of Wands upright, and the Knight of Cups reversed. Let me just show you the Knight of Cups here. Another nod to the Rider Waite, but do you see how she's intentionally left the cup blank? I love this because many times he withholds what's in that cup from us, and you can see it really well here in her illustration. You can also see what I mentioned before. Do you see how the modeling has kind of happened here? And I've got some discoloration on the card because this is from the original. It's not nearly as crisp and beautiful white. And I think that is because of the backs. The ink just kind of bled onto the front of these. The first print run wasn't maybe the best. And we're back. I just wanted you to see the difference between the original version of the Knight of Cups that I have, where the ink has kind of come back on my card front, and then the new US Games version. Look how crisp, white, gorgeous that is, yeah? And you can really see, let me get it in the light here, you can really see the missing cup much more clearly in the new version, so I'm really excited about that. But again, a nod to the Rider Waite, not the typical knights that we see riding on a horse, okay? So this is a deck I find that reads intuitively very, very well, but it's not an exact Rider Waite clone. So in doing my reading for all of you, what I learned was, again, here we have the Magician reversed. Not only are you feeling a little bit of angst about your connection with self, but you're feeling like you don't have the tools to do what you really want to in the world, like you don't have the tools that you want to show up in the world to manifest your reality. But you have an incredible desire to do so. I mean, look at her. I love that she is soaking in the energy from that particular wand. So again, we feel the life, we feel the spring coming from the wand here, but not necessarily the yods falling off of the wand like you would have in the Rider Waite. And then you've got this castle in the background, which to me just feels like this dream fantasy, right? So sometimes our inspiration is that we want to achieve the dream. So you all have this inspiration to achieve this dream. You're just feeling like you don't have the tools to do it, and you doubt your creativity. That's so sad. You guys are all really phenomenal and very, very intuitive. But can you see how her focus, and I love this because these are really wonderful to read directionally, okay? She is looking at him, he at her. So she has the inspiration to do it, but not necessarily the belief. So there's this doubt. So there's a burning desire, but doubt. And again, the Magician coming in reversed, it feels like all of the tools are there and available, but out of reach. Okay, because the hand, let me turn it right side up for you so you can see it. The hand is here, but the tools are beneath it. And when we turn it around, to me, intuitively, it reads as if I've got my hand pointing in the wrong direction. I'm not reaching out to grab the tools that are in front of me. They're actually they're within, they're still inside, but they're not in my hand and in my control yet. So, what to do about this? What to do about this? So let's just shuffle and find out. And I'm going to come back in just 1 second. Okay, we're back. This time around, what I did was I asked for some advice for all of us. If we're not feeling quite connected to our wonderful talents and our wonderful gifts and our creativity and our intuition, and yet we really have a desire to help out the world, we have a desire to activate our gifts to help other people. How do we do that? What should we consider? What not to do, what to do, and how to move forward. And again, I want you to see how the deck reads differently than a regular Rider Waite, and how blunt and in our face it can be. We've got 2 5s here. Neither really looks directly like the Rider Waite. Both show we have conflict, okay? Where we are right now, similar to the Rider Waite, you can see the 2 cups here for 5 of cups, 3 cups spilled. And her not paying attention. She's just kind of gazing out. Again, now it looks like, do you remember in the very beginning, we had, I love how these tie together. This was your dream, okay? There's the castle. This is exactly what you desire, what you want to do. This is what really lights you up. But where you are presently is you feel like you're closed off to it. So there's the castle in the background, but it's behind the glass. There's a long path to get there. Again, you're not seeing the tools that you have. Look at the beautiful flowers that are growing out of these cups. You have what it takes to make that happen. You're just kind of refusing to see it and crying over spilt milk because you've had these past failures or past disappointments. And so you're feeling like, it's not ever going to happen for me. Here's what we want you to stop doing. Now, this is a unique card, right? This one took me a little while to really understand. This is the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands here, much different. Look, it looks like the wheel a little bit, doesn't it? So I do love the energy of everything coming together. I love the energy of the rays that come through that are reminiscent of the Rider Waite, that shows that when you bring everything together in this mandala, you can actually create exactly what you're looking for. So this, to me, is all about don't stop the action and activity and lining your ducks up in a row. Just go ahead and take action. It's all going to come together for you as long as you just keep moving forward. Okay, so it's going to feel a little awkward to you in the beginning. That's okay. Just slowly, things are going to come together for you, especially as it relates to this deck, right? Because it just feels a little upside down. The clouds are beneath you. The path is still ahead of you. And again, watch how these really line up. The path is ahead of you, just as the path is ahead of you here. Okay? Okay, let's talk about what to do in this situation to reconnect. And here's another example of how this card differs from the Rider Waite. And in this situation, I mean, I think it's really different. So I wanted to know a little bit more about this headdress. This is where her book is actually really very helpful. So in the book, let me show you the gorgeous page, right? Just mentioning that her ram's horn shows how strong-willed she's been. And then she's got this wreath of all of the souvenirs that she has taken along the way, okay? This shows off the journey that she's been on. In the clouds, well above the drama of everyday life, right? That's what we found in the book. Again, slightly different than we find in Rider Waite. She comes up reversed. So what I want to say here is stop being so hard on yourself. Start recognizing the journey you have been on, all the gifts you do have, everything you've already given to society, and how much they appreciate it. Okay? So again, can you see how this is different than Rider Waite? The interpretation is also a little in your face. It's just not going to let you hide behind it. So it's not going to be for every client. It's not necessarily going to be for a sensitive client, okay? Because it is going to be very, very direct with you. I have found that with a lot of my clients. They say, oh gosh, I really want a direct reading. Tell me how it is. But you know how it goes when then they say, oh, this doesn't feel good, or this isn't really right for me. So already we see the conflict, we feel the conflict, we feel the internal doubt that this deck is actually bringing up to us. It is showing the pain points in your life and then how to get past them. But how to get past them is through the pain. It's through the conflict. We have 2 5s showing up here. So you have to go through this to get to the other side. This was my root card, the 8 of coins, which I love. It's just a darling card. But it says we have to just stay the course. Keep doing the work. You are going to master it. This is where you're headed. Again, 5 of Swords, significantly different than the Rider Waite. But here's what I love about the 5 of Swords. You're going to take all of your clarity, all of your intellect, everything you've learned in your journey. Here's the path continuing again. Do you see that? Look at how the path behind the castle, all the way up into the castle. You're going to head right into that castle as long as you are willing to face and see the shadow side, to see yourself, to see your disappointments and say, okay, this maybe isn't what I wanted. However, this is a blessing in disguise because it's led me up the steps to exactly where I want to be. I want to be in the castle. Here's your opportunity. All you have to do is stop criticizing yourself. Just keep working at it. 2 8s. 2 8s. Just keep progressing. Keep moving forward. Release the doubt. And you're going to have exactly what it is that you desire. Can you see how this deck works? At least this is how the deck works for me. This is how the deck reads for me. I can't recommend it highly enough, only because I love the images. I love the way the images play with each other. I like the path going through the castle keeps showing up, the path going through the reading. I think it gives you so many nuances to be able to read for your clients. I think it gave you some good direction. It gave all of us some good direction. And I think that that's how the Tattoo Tarot was going to work. Again, this is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot by Lana Zellner, all about her journey into creativity. This reading is about your journey into creativity and intuition. I hope you have enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm at glindasguidance.com. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks, guys, so much. Go get the deck. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.